As an addendum to my main channel's video, I want to go over some of the more recent updates on what's happening with Trump and his comments about Elijah Cumming in Baltimore. And the theme of this video will be once again how everything is fake. I don't trust anybody, and I'm just so sick and tired of everyone pretending. I think Trump is... I'm going to agree with The Intercept on this one, that he's simultaneously the most honest and least honest president we've ever had. Maybe least honest isn't the necessarily... Well, no, maybe that is the right word. Let me just start over. Donald Trump will just say things that shock people. Like, he'll just tell you the truth. Like, he's got no filter. He's like, boom, and people love it. But then he'll flub the details on a lot of things, you know? So whether or not it's intentionally misleading, I think, citing the Intercept, Trump is accidentally or on purpose the most honest president we've had. And that's why I think it's easy for people to jump on to criticizing him, because he just doesn't care. He'll just say it. You know, so I guess he's selective in what he's misrepresenting. But anyway, it's not just about Trump, okay? I'll criticize everybody for just being fake. Bernie Sanders, fake. And then who else do I have? Victor Blackwell, fake. I don't believe any of this. It's all just nonsense. And I want to start with, you know what? I'll go over this a little bit, but I really want to lay into CNN. Bernie Sanders criticizes Trump for his racist comments about Baltimore 4 years after he compared the city to a third world country. Ha 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 ha. Bernie Sanders, great. I get it. Fake. And I don't believe any of this. You know, I thought Bernie was being honest back in 2015 when he said open borders, no way. When he was saying, you know, gun rights, urban versus rural, I'm like, whoa, he's talking truth. Now he's just playing this stupid game, and I don't have anything to do with it. Okay? What he's trying to do is signal to the biggest base possible to win. Okay, the ends don't justify the means. You want to play that game? I'll vote for somebody else. And you know what? Fine, I get it. Maybe they'll never win, and maybe I'll never win my politician, but fine, I don't care. I vote on principle. So Bernie Sanders, for you to come out and do this, I love how the Daily Mail is kind of, you know, playing him. Look what you're doing. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about Victor Blackwell crying on camera, because I mentioned it a couple times in the past 2 days, but I really want to focus on what CNN is doing here by having their anchor near tears pause and I live there. Okay. Before we get started though, head over to timcast.com/donate. If you'd like to support my work, there's a crypto option, a physical option, a physical address, and a PayPal option. But of course, just share this video if you like it. YouTube is deranking us in exchange for big corporate media players, so if there's going to be any growth on my channel at all, I rely on you guys to share the content. Now let's talk about the world of fakeness. CNN host breaks down in tears on air defending his hometown of Baltimore after Trump said it was a disgusting, rat-infested mess where no human being would want to live, while Nancy Pelosi blasts the president's racist remarks. You know, I was thinking about this, and I started thinking about where I'm from, the south side of Chicago. And if Donald Trump tweeted, the south side of Chicago is a rat-infested, gang-ridden mess where there's an extremely high murder rate, no human would want to live there, I would laugh. I would laugh. I just don't believe that you can come from a place like Baltimore or the south side of Chicago. I guess, look, there are a lot of people, you know, I guess that if you ragged on Chicago, they'd be like, hey, don't you talk about Chicago like that. They exist. I imagine being from the south side, it's mostly like the Bridgeport, like south side Irish types who are going to be like, I'll defend my neighborhood no matter what. I'm from the south side, man. Southwest side. South side, whatever. And if you told me that my neighborhood was bad and there were gangs, there are, and there were drugs, lots of that, and people are overdosing, yep, dead. Some of my friends, when I was a kid, dead. I got a story about one of my friends watching someone drag a carpet with feet hanging out of it. Yeah, welcome to Chicago. I drove around one night, and we covered, I think, like, 5 murders in one night? In one night, it was ridiculous. And it was crazy, too, because, like, one of the stories was a drive-by, but it was different apartments or something. Like, I could be getting the story wrong, but it was like 2 stories, and they were mad at the person on the first floor, so they shot the people on the second floor. If someone's gonna come out and be like, yeah, Chicago sucks, I'd be like, you don't even know the half of it. You got a corrupt mate. How many governors of Chicago went to prison like the past 3 or something? I can't even remember. Maybe it's not 3, maybe it's 2. But then you look at Baltimore, and Baltimore's got like a corrupt mayors. They've got crime. They made a TV show about it, The Wire. I've never actually seen it, even though everyone said, now I'm gonna get all the comments and be like, dude, you gotta watch The Wire, it's so good. I get it. But there are even articles from before Trump talked about this saying that Baltimore, certain areas are falling in disrepair. Bernie Sanders himself calling it a third world country. Great. So let's talk about CNN. Okay, the point I'm trying to make here, not to just rehash everything I've already said. This guy, Victor Blackwell, in this segment, you can see it. He freezes up and he's about to cry. And I just feel like it's an act. I do not believe for 1 second he actually cares. Now look, of course, maybe he does. But I'm pretty sure I can go to any one of my friends on the South Side and I could say, hey, the South Side of Chicago is a rat-infested mess with gangs and drugs, and no human would want to live there, and they'd start laughing. Yup, that's where we're from. Let's read a little bit about this. Daily Wire writes, a CNN host from Baltimore grew emotional on air as he defended his hometown after President Donald Trump called the city a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess. Man, I've seen a lot of rats in Chicago. Anchor Victor Blackwell, a Baltimore native, teared up as he rebuked Trump for his remarks earlier on Saturday criticizing Rep. Elijah Cummings, whose district includes much of Baltimore. Blackwell blasted Trump for using the term infested. Come on. Crime infested is a common phrase, saying the president often uses the term to criticize non-whites. Okay, look. He's referred to he said nasty things about San Francisco. That's mostly white. Trump doubled down on his comment Saturday night, taking to Twitter and writing, so sad that Elijah Cummings has been able to do so little for the people of Baltimore. Statistically, Baltimore ranks last in almost every major category. Cummings has done nothing but milk Baltimore dry, but the public is getting wise to the bad job he is doing. Brian Stelter of CNN did a segment calling Trump racist and saying, we've got to call out the inaccuracies. And I'm like, you're only doing this because it's Trump. You ignored Bernie Sanders when he did. You don't care that he did it. And I got to admit, CNN didn't like Bernie Sanders. Actually, hold on. Maybe CNN did. Okay. I don't want to mischaracterize, but I'm curious why it's not being brought up now. Okay. Why is it okay for Bernie to mischaracterize Baltimore? More to the point. I want this not to be about rehashing the video I just did, but to point out, I do not trust Victor Blackwell's assessment. I do not trust his emotional outburst. It felt like an act. It felt fake. I honestly don't know anybody from any city who would react that way. Do you? Is that normal? Maybe it's because I'm from the South Side of Chicago and we just have no pride in the problems the city is facing and would welcome the president calling it out. The last thing we do is probably cry about it. Seems weird, but it seems like great television because this went viral. And even today, people are still sharing the clip. Even CNN's propping this up. Let's pull up how many views this has on YouTube.
This morning, the president.
I'm not going to play it. 500,000 views. I don't know if that's good or bad. Right? But I can tell you this. CNN's ratings are plummeting. Is straight news valuable? It really isn't. Okay? It really isn't. I know this to be true, and it's unfortunate. Presenting straight fact is so... this is not valuable. Okay? Tweets carry a lot of breaking news because most breaking news stories are very small, right? If the CEO of a company resigns, we just put CEO John Johnson resigns from Fortune 500 company. He is said to be leaving with a severance package of X. The resignation comes 3 months after the stock dropped 17% due to bad decision making. End of story. And you can get all of that in a tweet or a post, and so people don't care. You can get it in a headline. Oh, the guy resigned, moving on. Now this is bad because a lot of headlines are misleading. But then when it comes to actually just saying, here's the news, nobody cares anymore. And so it's a huge problem. It's one of the reasons I'm trying to make sure Subverse survives. So we have, look, I do commentary and the commentary leads, and then we have a separate entity. It's a totally different company that will exist to do straight news. Something different to what the big media companies are doing. Yes, Victor Blackwell goes on CNN and cries. Sure, I go on YouTube and criticize him for crying. We're doing the same thing. Except CNN is the most trusted name in news, and Tim Pool is a news and political commentary channel, which is, well, I'm not going to cry, but it's in my opinion for the most part. I'm doing assessment and analysis. I'm not going to claim that this channel is where you come for straight hard news. I try to make sure my facts are straight. I try to make sure I'm using verified sources, but in the end, you are getting my opinion on these issues and my perspective. Subverse, on the other hand, is what we're trying to do on the other side of that, which is straight news across the board, period. So sure, I get it. Opinion content leads, but is this an opinion show? Does Victor Blackwell lead an opinion show? No. But I'll tell you what, him crying is great television, and that's why I don't believe it. Everyone I know from Chicago, if I said what Trump said, the worst I think I'd probably get from those people is probably like, well... I mean, it's bad, but, it's like downtown's all right. Lincoln Park's pretty cool. There's a lot of hipster neighborhoods with like good food. Chicago's great food. Like, I think that's the worst I get it. I don't think anybody from Chicago would be like, hey man, don't talk about Chicago that way. That just seems weird. I can't imagine anyone I have ever met from Chicago crying over me tweeting about how bad the South Side is, or the West Side, or the city in general. I mean, there's a lot of bad places all over the city. So, long story short, it's theatrics. It's reality television. And you know what? I will blame Donald Trump to his detriment, to his benefit, mostly to his benefit. Trump knows America loves WWE. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm pretty sure. There's that GIF where he's beating up CNN. Trump knows what the public wants. To act otherwise, to deny that, would be to bring about your own loss in politics. Trump knows. CNN's learning from him. So Trump made a good show, a good reality TV show of politics. It worked out. And now his supporters love him for the policies he's enacting. So whatever. There you go. They don't care if Trump's offensive. They like when he's offensive, actually. Well, CNN responds in kind with a crying anchor. Congratulations. This is what we get. We get the politics and the TV we deserve. That's all I can really say. I got a couple more segments coming up for you in a few minutes, though, so stick around, and I will see you shortly.